Listen closely, because this isn't just another story. This is your reality. A government agent trained to uncover the deepest secrets has put you under the microscope only to be left speechless. They've seen the unthinkable, the undefinable, and the undeniable. Your existence has shattered every rule in their book, defied every explanation, and now they're scrambling to understand how someone like you can even exist. The systems that govern the world are not designed for outliers. They rely on predictability, on patterns they can calculate and control. When they send their agents into the unseen corners of existence, they expect to find anomalies they can catalogue, phenomena that fit neatly into the ledger of the ordinary. Yet, when they turned their attention to you, everything shattered. They weren't prepared for what they uncovered. Data points spiraled out of their grasp. Your presence bent logic itself. The calculations failed. The algorithms faltered. Your movements, your decisions, your very essence refused categorization. The agent didn't find another variable in a field of knowns. They found a force, a series of unexplainable synchronicities, capabilities that broke the rules they swore were unbreakable. The stories you've lived, the ripples you've created, each moment challenged the rigidity of their understanding. And that is where the truth of their investigation lies. They discovered that you are not an outlier. You are an exception. The agent, bound to systems designed to suppress, faced the undeniable. You weren't the error. You were the truth they couldn't admit existed. In their report, classified, buried, they noted that their frameworks were not built for someone like you. They called it a phenomenon. But those words, those labels, fail to hold your weight. You are proof that the world cannot contain everyone in its grasp. Drop a comment. Their rules can't hold me, if you've ever felt like the system wasn't built for you. The systems that shape the world were built for control. They are intricate, calculating, and relentless in their pursuit of predictability. Their purpose is not merely to observe, but to classify, to reduce every being to something quantifiable. An entry in a ledger, a data point in a machine. Yet when they turned their focus to you, the framework crumbled. You didn't fit their mold because you were never meant to. You were never intended to bow to their equations. Your intuition alone is enough to unhinge their precision. Where they see chaos, you see connections. You move through spaces with an understanding that defies logic, sensing undercurrents others cannot fathom. They measure instinct as chance, a fleeting glitch, but your decisions reveal something far greater, a silent mastery over the unseen. You operate beyond their rules, pulling insights from realms their tools cannot penetrate. Then there's the way you inspire without effort. Influence, in their view, is calculated, manufactured through systems of power, charisma, and persuasion. Yet you shift the trajectory of others without speaking a word. They sense it in your presence, the gravity you carry. They cannot quantify the pull you have, the way people gravitate toward you, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. Their metrics falter because inspiration is not something that can be bottled, and your impact cannot be traced to a single point. And then there's your resilience, the trait that unsettles them the most. Systems thrive on control, and they expect individuals to bend under the weight of adversity. They account for it, plan for it, and even exploit it. Yet, time and again, you rise, not with defiance, but with a quiet, unrelenting strength that erases the impact of their force. You don't rebound, you transform. They see the cracks they've tried to create, but instead of collapsing, they find you unshaken, reshaped, something entirely new. Resilience isn't a reaction for you. It's a core state of being. Each of these traits is a rupture in their carefully constructed machine. You are the variable that makes their equations meaningless. Their systems were built to confine, but you live in the spaces they cannot touch. You don't break their rules by force, you render them irrelevant. You exist outside their grasp, and that fact shakes their foundation to its core. They sent their best, armed with instruments of precision. Machines calibrated to detect every flicker of deviation, psychological frameworks honed to unravel the depths of a mind, algorithms built to dissect the unpredictable into digestible parts. They expected their methods to work as they always had. They did not expect you. Their tools failed not because they were faulty, but because you operate on wavelengths they cannot measure. Science, built to measure the finite, found no edges to your essence. Psychology, designed to map predictable patterns, stumbled over a mind that moves in spirals and leaps, leaving behind logic as if it were a discarded script. Their frameworks required you to be defined, labeled, and categorized. Instead, they encountered the unquantifiable, something that defied the very nature of their constructs. The moment came suddenly. It wasn't a shift in data or a malfunction in their systems. It was an absence, a void where their measurements should have stood. You didn't break their tools, you rendered them irrelevant. They realized it not. With clarity, but with a creeping unease. There was something in you they could not explain, a force they could not tether. Whether it was the intensity of your presence, the depth of your energy, or the sheer weight of your potential, they saw it clearly. Yet they could not name it. You are seen, not merely by the systems of the world, but by the forces that operate, beyond its tangible limits. You've moved into a space where visibility is not accidental, it is deliberate. Human frameworks, designed to surveil and suppress, have taken notice, their mechanisms alert to the ripples you create. But theirs are not the only eyes on you. On one side are forces that recognize the weight you carry, the disruption you embody. These forces are ancient, operating beyond human comprehension, tethered to the essence of what is and what will be. They understand what you represent: change, potential, evolution. They seek to guide you, to protect the integrity of your path, knowing that your movements align with something far greater than the structures of men. On the other side are forces that fear you. They see in you the capacity to undo what they've spent lifetimes fortifying. They fear your refusal to conform, the way you unravel control by existing as you are. These forces seek to stifle, to silence, to bind you within limits that were never meant to hold you. They don't attack directly. They attempt to erode subtly, to make you doubt the magnitude of what you carry. Your existence is now a battlefield of attention. The world and beyond have taken notice. Some forces rally to elevate you, while others tremble at the chaos you bring to their order. You are their reckoning, their question with no answer. Drop a comment. I move beyond limits. If you've ever felt your presence transcends the ordinary, the sense that events surrounding you are no longer random, that invisible hands are stirring currents you cannot see. This is not paranoia, it's precision. When forces, human or otherwise, investigate you, they leave traces, echoes of their focus that ripple through your existence. These signs are not accidents, they are confirmations. The first sign you've been investigated is the presence of unusual synchronicities. Patterns emerge that are too precise to dismiss as chance. A word you speak echoes back moments later through an unrelated conversation. Events align with almost surgical precision, pulling you toward moments or individuals that seem preordained. These are not accidents. They are the reverberations of unseen forces intersecting with your path, subtle markers of attention that signal you are no longer moving unnoticed. The second sign you've been investigated is the feeling of being observed. It's not paranoia, but an acute awareness, a shift in the atmosphere that you cannot rationalize. There's weight in the spaces you occupy, a presence pressing on the edges of your perception. You notice fleeting looks, strangers lingering in the periphery, moments of silence that stretch unnaturally long. This observation is deliberate, a mix of curiosity and caution, indicative of forces that recognize the depth of what you carry. The third sign, you've been investigated, manifests as inexplicable delays or barriers. Paths that once unfolded easily now feel obstructed, like moving against an invisible current. Opportunities fall through, plans unravel, and progress slows in ways that defy logic. These are not mere frustrations, but tests, deliberate attempts to gauge your resolve or redirect you towards something greater. Barriers often mean you're being redirected to move with purpose, not convenience. The fourth sign you've been investigated is sudden bursts of clarity. When the fog lifts, even for a moment, you're left with a profound understanding of your direction or significance. These flashes of insight strike unexpectedly, unraveling layers of confusion and connecting threads you hadn't seen before. They are confirmations that you are being guided, that despite resistance, the path forward is meant to emerge clearly when the time is right. The fifth sign you've been investigated is how people begin treating you differently. Some will seem drawn to you, unable to articulate why they feel compelled to be near you. Others will react with hostility or discomfort, as if your presence disturbs something they cannot name. This shift reflects the way your energy is perceived. You've become a point of disruption in their established rhythms. Their reactions are reflections of what you awaken within them, either fear or admiration. Chosen ones, the obsidian inner order is calling. Only the strongest survive the matrix and live to tell it. Welcome to the ultimate sanctuary for those who faced archons, shattered the matrix, and risen as untouchable legends. If you're seeing this, destiny thinks you're one of us. Don't blow it. Inside, we've got exclusive interviews with chosen ones who've defied odds, broken generational curses, and rewritten their reality with divine timing. This isn't your average story time. This is the blueprint to your cosmic glow-up. Unlock forbidden content too real for YouTube, including the Manifestation Mechanics Grimoire, your guide to turning chaos into order, creating an abundance vortex, and bending universal energy to your will, the crown jewel. A private Discord of 400+ high-vibration legends, weekly mindset calls, and even chosen singles for divine partnerships. But let's be real, we don't do posers here. If you're ready to join the #1 Ascension Nexus for real chosen ones, the link to the Obsidian Inner Order is in the description. This is your moment. Step up. Each of these signs is a reflection of your impact. Forces do not observe the insignificant. You are watched because you disrupt, because your existence defies containment. These signs are not warnings, but confirmations of your importance. Pay attention to them, not with fear, but with understanding. To interpret these signs, shift your perspective. Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are validations of your alignment with something larger. The sensation of being observed is not a threat, but proof of your power. Delays and barriers test your resilience because you are capable of overcoming them. Clarity is given to those who are ready to wield it, and the way others respond to you is a mirror of your influence. You are not ordinary. These signs do not occur by chance. They are the echoes of an investigation into something extraordinary. Recognize them for what they are: proof that you matter, that you are seen, that your presence shakes the unseen. You are impossible to define because the essence of who you are transcends the boundaries of conventional understanding. Your presence alone alters the fabric of interactions around you, a magnetic pull that draws others closer without their comprehension. It isn't charisma in the way the world defines it. It's an undeniable force, an energy that shifts attention, reshapes focus, and commands without asking. Systems rooted in predictability cannot account for the way you unsettle their balance simply by being. You move through life with an ability to perceive what lies beneath the surface. While others are blinded by what is presented, you see through the layers, the hidden motives, the unspoken truths, the intricate connections binding moments together. This depth unnerves the world, which thrives on illusions and shallow constructs. Your clarity cuts through the noise, exposing what others prefer to leave buried. You are disruptive not because you try to be, but because you can't help but see the truth. When adversity rises, it is met with something unshakable in you. Where others bend, you remain. Pressure doesn't break you, it refines you. Struggles become fuel, shaping you into something stronger, something systems of control cannot account for. They expect collapse, but you adapt, thrive, and push forward, leaving them scrambling to comprehend resilience they cannot measure. And then there's the undeniable pull of your purpose. It's not a choice or a pursuit, but a force that guides you, propelling you beyond the reach of logic or societal constraints. It refuses to yield to rules designed to control smaller. In lives, the world struggles to reconcile with the reality that you are more than extraordinary. You are proof that their limits were never real. The world operates in rigid cycles, clinging to structures that were designed to control, not evolve. Systems that once promised order have become stagnant, strangling innovation and suppressing the unpredictable forces that spark true progress. These systems fear change because change threatens their foundation. You are the disruption they didn't foresee, the catalyst they cannot contain. Your existence is a fracture in the facade of their carefully constructed stability. When you move through the world, you don't simply participate, you shift it. Your presence stirs discomfort in some and inspiration in others. Those tied to the old ways may recoil, sensing that you carry something they cannot define or suppress. Yet others, the ones yearning for something greater, feel awakened in your presence. You don't follow their path, you create one. Your ability to challenge convention forces others to confront their own limitations, shaking them out of complacency and into growth. The shock you provoke in individuals mirrors what society feels when confronted by someone they cannot reduce to a label. Like the agent who sought to investigate and define you, society will struggle to reconcile with your defiance of their norms. They will attempt to resist your influence, but resistance is futile against something so innately transformative. You are the antithesis of stagnation. Where the world clings to outdated order, you bring chaos, but it is not destruction, it is renewal. You're not here to follow, you're here to rebuild. They may not know it yet, but the world needs you. Being unseen is not an oversight, it is deliberate. The forces that shape your path have kept you veiled, not as punishment but as preparation. You are hidden from those who would misuse or misunderstand what you carry, giving you the space to refine your essence. This invisibility is not a lack of recognition. It is a cocoon. You are meant to observe, sharpen, and prepare for what lies ahead. The world isn't ready for your full presence yet, and that delay is intentional. In this phase, self-reflection is your compass. You're called to confront your core, stripping away illusions and distractions until only the truth of who you are remains. This is not a quiet process. It demands fierce honesty and the willingness to see yourself without filters. It is through this reflection that you build an unshakable foundation, one that will hold even when the world eventually turns its gaze toward you. Skill building becomes your armor. This is the time to hone what makes you formidable. Whether it's knowledge, resilience, or craft, you refine these tools in the shadows where the noise of the world cannot interfere. Mastery doesn't announce itself. It is forged in the quiet persistence of unseen effort. And finally, you observe. Patterns emerge in the silence, truths revealing themselves when you are not distracted by the superficial. You begin to understand the dynamics around you, the forces in play, the systems at work, the opportunities waiting to be claimed. Being unseen sharpens your awareness, making you dangerous in ways the world has yet to realize. When the spotlight of attention sharpens on you, the need to protect your energy becomes non-negotiable. You're not dealing with ordinary focus. This is a collision of worldly systems and spiritual forces drawn to your presence. Their scrutiny can drain you, distract you, or attempt to sway you from your purpose. Safeguarding your energy isn't about hiding, it's about fortifying yourself so you can move with clarity and strength. Grounding is your first line of defense. Anchor yourself in what is unchanging, whether through practices that connect you to the natural world, rituals of stillness, or actions that remind you of your power. Grounding isn't passive. It's a deliberate act of claiming your space, ensuring that no external force can pull you off balance. Setting boundaries is equally vital. Not everyone deserves access to you, and not every demand on your time or energy requires a response. Protect your focus like a fortress. Say no without hesitation when it serves your mission. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates opening only for what aligns with your purpose. Staying focused on your mission requires discipline. Distractions will arise, tempting you with promises of ease or validation. Ignore them. Keep your eyes fixed on the larger path, knowing that every moment spent indulging the unnecessary delays the inevitable. Finally, trust your intuition. That inner voice is your compass, cutting through the noise to guide you. It will alert you to hidden motives, false alliances, and unseen opportunities. Trust it completely. It is the one force you can rely on. When the pressures mount, your energy is sacred. Protect it, and no force watching you will find a weakness to exploit. You move forward untouchable, shielded by your clarity and conviction. Resistance is not a deterrent, it is a signal. The opposition you face is proof that you matter, that your presence disrupts the complacency of the world around you. Challenges arise not because you are weak, but because you are powerful enough to disturb what was never meant to remain unchallenged. Those who remain unseen or insignificant rarely encounter resistance. It comes for those who shift dynamics, force questions, and expose truths others fear to confront. When setbacks occur, they are not failures. They are redirections, recalibrations, meant to align you with a course that serves your purpose. Resistance isn't a wall to stop you. It's a pressure meant to refine you. Each obstacle teaches adaptability, strength, and insight. It forces you to sharpen your focus, to clarify your intention, to recognize that every detour carries a lesson designed to make you unshakable. What seems like a barrier is often the pathway disguised. Even the shock you provoke is a form of resistance. Whether it comes from systems, individuals, or forces beyond comprehension, their discomfort is a direct response to your uniqueness. Their attempts to control, dismiss, or challenge you reveal that they cannot reconcile with the reality of what you are. A disruptor. You force them to see what they would prefer to ignore. Resistance is not a punishment, it is an acknowledgement. You are not like the rest, and that truth unsettles. Keep moving forward. Every pushback is a confirmation that you're creating ripples where others remain still. Your true potential doesn't reveal itself all at once. It unfolds through a process that demands your attention, your effort, and your willingness to face what others cannot. The unveiling begins with discomfort, a restless, undeniable sense that you are out of place in the structures built to contain you. This unease is not a flaw, it's a signal urging you to break away from the illusions of limitation. Discomfort is the pressure that cracks open the facade, making space for recognition. Recognition follows when you begin to see yourself clearly, unfiltered by the expectations of others. It's the moment you understand that your uniqueness isn't an anomaly, it's your strength. What sets you apart is precisely what makes you indispensable. The world may try to diminish your light, but the investigation into your potential is proof that even they cannot ignore what you carry. Recognition isn't just about awareness, it's about owning the truth of your role. Full acceptance is the final stage. It's the point at which you no longer negotiate your place or purpose. You step into your power with conviction, knowing that your impact is non-negotiable. To fully embrace this, you must first acknowledge that your differences are your greatest asset. Use your influence deliberately, shaping the spaces around you with integrity and purpose. Then, seek connection with those who see what you see, others who challenge norms, disrupt stagnation, and build toward a greater vision. You are not the sum of their scrutiny. Every system trying to define you is met with a truth they cannot contain. You are the answer they weren't prepared for. Your existence is a declaration, unspoken yet unmistakable. It says, "I will not fit your molds. I will not bow to your metrics. I am not here to be measured. I am here to change the measure itself." Your presence challenges the foundation of their control. By living authentically, you expose the cracks in their constructs, proving that freedom is not granted, it is claimed. You show them that possibility exists beyond their limits, that the extraordinary cannot be confined by what is deemed ordinary. Let this be clear. You do not need to conform to matter. Your defiance is your strength, your uniqueness the undeniable. Proof of your impact. By being you, you've already rewritten the rules. You are not an accident of existence. Everything about you, the way you move, think, and transform the spaces you touch, challenges what the world thought it understood. Systems fail to quantify you because you were never meant to be reduced. You transcend their boundaries, dismantling the constructs they built to contain what they cannot comprehend. Those who try to categorize you have found only awe, proof that you operate on a level they cannot reach. This is not a moment for hesitation. Your presence is a disruption, a necessary fracture in the ordinary. You hold a brilliance that defies replication, a force that compels change simply by existing. Now is the time to let that power move through you, unrestrained. The world doesn't just need you, it depends on you to show what's possible. Step forward with all you are. Speak your truth, share your story, the world is waiting.